Hey, what's going on, guys? So, Mr. Flores here, and we're going to continue with matrices, and we're going to talk about matrix multiplication. All right. Now, I don't mean scalar multiplication, where we multiply a number by a matrix. I'm talking about we multiply a matrix by a matrix. Now, I told you this wasn't going to be easy, and it's not easy because there's so much bookkeeping, and kids get lost, they mess up calculations, yada yada yada. The idea is hard, but not difficult. But what makes this even harder is the amount of calculations you have to make. All right. So right off the bat, we're just going to jump into a problem. And before you ever multiply two matrices, make sure you know their dimensions. All right. So we have A, which is a 1 by 2. We have B, which is a 2 by 1. All right. Whenever you multiply matrices, the middle two numbers, aka the columns of the first and the rows of the second, must match. So right off the bat, we know we can multiply A and B since the columns of the first match the rows of the second. Okay? And then the one nice thing is we can know that our answer is going to be a 1 by 1 matrix. Okay? Because the rows of the first matrix and the columns of the second matrix are the dimensions of your new matrix. Okay? Now, that's a little confusing, but I'll explain. All right? Because when you multiply matrices, so let's say we're going to do A times B. That's really 2, 3 times negative 2, 6. All right? Remember back when I said that you need to be able to know what your each portion is. So like this is row 1, column 1. This is row 1, column 2. Okay? Being able to read that and understand that helps a lot in matrix multiplication. Okay? Because you always multiply the rows of the first matrix by the columns of the second matrix. Okay? So we're going to do row 1 times column 1. Now what we're going to do is you take the first number in the row, multiply it by the first number in the column. So 2 times negative 2. Then you add the second number in the row times the second number in the column. Plus 3 times 6. Which gives us 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. 3 times 6 is 18. Which gives us a grand total of 14. Now, if you look here, we have 1 row, 1 column. And in a nutshell, that is matrix multiplication. You multiply the rows of the first by the columns of the second. All right? But let's get into a little more difficult one. So let's say A is 2, 3, 4, 0, 2, 5. Okay? We're going to multiply that by B, which is 5, 6, 2, 0, 8, 10. Okay? Now again, we first want to look at our matrices and find out the dimensions of each. So this one is a 2 by 3. This is a 3 by 2. I don't know why I was having like such a brain forgetting what was going on. So we can look here and we see that the 3's match, so we can multiply. Okay, since the rows of the first, or the columns of the first match the rows of the second, and our answer is going to be a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, but again, we have to do that. So we know that AB is really 2, 3, 4, 0, 2, 5 times 5, 6, 2, 0, 8, 10. Okay, so now in order to get, so basically we know that our matrix is going to be a 2 by 2. It's going to be row 1, column 1, row 2, column 1, row 1, column 2, row 2, column 2. All right. The way you get this row 1, column 1 number is by multiplying the first row by the first column. So this is going to be look really big, just because I need a lot of room. All right. So this first number right here is going to be 2 times 5 plus 3 times 6, because it's the second number by the second number, plus 4 times 2. Third number times third number. Okay. Then, I'm actually going to erase this so we have room. And I'm actually going to take this whole thing and move it. Nope, I don't want that. I just want this. Alright, whatever. Sorry, it won't work. Alright, so then to get row 2, column 1, aka the bottom left, we're going to take row 2 multiplied by column 1. So it's going to be 0 times 5 plus 6, or no, it doesn't matter, but plus 2 times 6 plus 5 times 2. Okay? Now, to get this guy right here, row 1, column 2, we take row 1, which is 2, and we multiply by column 2. So 2 times 0 plus 3 times 8 plus 4 times 10. I hope that fits in the screen. Okay. Now to get row 2, column 2, we take row 2, which is 0 times 0. That's nice. And then 2 times 8. Then we take 5 times 10. And now we just have to simplify that. So 2 times 5 is 10 plus 18 plus 8, which gives us a grand total of 36. 0 times 5 is 0. 2 plus 6 is 12. 5 times 2 is 10, for a grand total of 22. 2 times 0 is 0. Plus 3 times 8 is 24. Plus 4 times 10 is 40. Gives us a grand total of 64. 0 times 0 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16. 5 times 10 is 50, which gives us a grand total of 66. And like we said in the beginning, our answer is going to be a 2 by 2. Our answer is a 2 by 2. Okay? So guys, the biggest thing I can tell you when you multiply matrices is first draw this, your answer. So that was our answer. Okay? Now, to get row 1, column 1, you take row 1 times column 1. For R2 of C1, you take row 2 times column 1. And so on and so forth, okay? And this is why I like knowing the answer before we do it, because if you got like 2 rows and then 6 columns as your answer, you know you were wrong because you have to have a 2 by 2. All right. Last example, let's do B times A. If we go back, we know that B is a 3 by 2 times A is a 2 by 3. Okay, so we're going to ask ourselves, can we do this? The answer is yes, because the 2's match. This time our answer is going to be a 3 by 3. What I'm going to do so we know is I'm going to bring this down. Oh, shoot. I just ruined it. Alright, sorry, real quick. I have to erase this, erase this. And I just deleted everything. Oh, no. Actually, I lied. It's right here. So, sorry about that little minor technical difficulties. I don't feel like making the video real quick. Alright, so B is 5, 6, 2. A is, and then 0, 8, 10. A is 2, 3, 4, 0, 2, 5. All right, so like I said, our answer is going to be a 3 by 3. So we know it's row 1, column 1, row 2, column 1, row 3, column 1, row 2, column 2, or nope, that's still row 1. Row 1, column 2, row 2, column 2, row 3, column 2. Then we have row 1, column 3, row 2, column 3, row 3, column 3. Okay? And I just like to do that because it helps me when I multiply my matrices. All right? Again, you don't have to, but it's nice to just so you know what your answer is going to be. All right, so let's just draw a big matrix so we can get all our math in there. We're going to do row 1, column 1. So on the top left, it's going to be row 1 times column 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 0 times 0 is 0. Row 2, column 1. Row 2 is 6 and 8. Column 1 is 2 and 0. 6 times 2 is 12. 8 times 0 is 0. Row 3, column 1 is the bottom left. Row 3, column 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 10 times 0 is 0. So we did this first part, the first column. Now we're going to get our second column. Row 1, column 2. So 5 times 3 is 15. 0 times 2 is 0. Row 2, column 2. 6 and 8 times 3 and 2 gives us 18 plus 16 is 6 times 3 is 18. 8 times 2 is 16. Row 3, column 2. 2 and 10, 3 and 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. 10 times 2 is 20. The last column. Row 1, column 3. 5 and 0 times 4 and 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 0 times 5 is 0. Row 2, column 2. Row 2, column 3. 6 and 8 times 4 and 5. 6 times 4 is 24. 8 times 5 is 40. Row 3, column 3. 2 and 10 times 4 and 5. 2 times 4 is 8. 10 times 5 is 50. Which gives us a grand total of 10 and 0 is 10. 12 and 0 is 12. 4 and 0 is 4. 15 and 0 is 15. 8 and 16 is 34. Nope, 32. 6 plus 20 is 26. 20 and 0 is 20. 24 and 40 is 64. 8 and 50 is 58. All right, and that is our answer. Again, it's a lot of work, but I do believe it gets easier if you write what your answer matrix is going to be. Therefore, you know each part of the matrix is just what row times what column. All right, and we're going to do one more example. I promise you it'll be quick. So let's say A is equal to 2, 3, 7, 0. Let's say B is equal to 2, 5, 7, 8. Nope, that's a lie. I don't like that one. Let's say it's equal to 2, 3, 6. Okay, so the dimensions of, so let's see if we can do AB. The dimensions of A are 2 by 2. Dimensions of B are a 1 by 3. The middle numbers do not match. They don't match. Therefore, we can't multiply it, so the answer is no solution. Because the rows of the first do not match the columns of the second. All right, guys, I know this is a long video, and I know it's a lot of math, and it's a lot of arithmetic and stuff, but the process is easy, I believe, easiest, if you first find out what is your answer matrix going to look like. Then you know what you're multiplying to get each part of your answer. All right. If you have questions, let me know. Check out the rest of the website, and hope you had fun.